Right, mate. So you're sitting down to start a funnel for a client that you've just signed. But what makes a good sales funnel? Like, what do you put in? What order? What do you add? What features do you add?
Okay.
Hit me.
What makes a good sales funnel? For those who don't know what a sales funnel is, it's a one-stop landing page. So if you see an ad online, you're not going to a website where there's all these distractions, like links and Instagram profile, Instagram pics, and all these other services that they offer that you don't really want to focus them on. It's leading a client or a potential buyer to one page where it's one service, super obvious, and there's only one outcome, and that is for them to take an action. So that's what a landing page is. Very different to a website. Looks like a website, but it has a different purpose. Google it by all means. Anyway, what makes a good funnel, sales funnel? Now, for me, you always have to, and for those listening, you always have to make sure you've got the right content in there. So are the right words in there? Have you talked about the product? Have you talked about the service, etc.? So that's the basics. So let's say you've thrown up all the information onto a page. What order do you put it in? So if it's an opt-in funnel where you're asking someone to put their email, phone, name, maybe some comments or whatever into a box, into an opt-in field, that needs to be what we call, and let's test Harry's knowledge. What would that be, Harry?
Above the fold.
Correct. So if you're above the fold, so what does above the fold mean? It means that those opt-in boxes need to be on the very first page of the website or at the very top. So on a mobile, let's take it that you're on your bus coming home from work. You see an ad from Instagram and it's asking you to give your email and phone number because of a service that you've seen or whatever. Could be that you're getting a discount through, I don't know, an e-com site, when they ask for like 20% off your first order if you sign up, blah, blah, blah. If the opt-in is, if you've got to scroll with your finger on your smartphone down to find that opt-in, your success rate, or what's called the conversion rate, will drop, okay? Because people, believe it or not, even just doing this with their finger, I don't know if you can see me on screen, doing that, for some people, that's effort. So, and this is just the world we live in. So you'll lose people because they're trying to find the opt-in. You're probably hitting them with way too much information. So you'll lose them. So make sure it's above the fold. The reason it's called above the fold goes back a long time ago when people would advertise in the newspapers and stuff, magazines. And actually, you never wanted to pay for an ad in the magazine that was on the fold of the newspaper because it just would never get seen. It would be creased up. It would be, half of it would be hanging off the fold. So you get some of it creased, some of it wouldn't. So the best and the most expensive ads were actually the ones where you were on the full page. When you've opened the newspaper, you are on the flat side of the page and at the top, because people tend to read that left to right. So that's why it was called above the fold. So that's the first point. Harry, you can pick up the second point of what makes good funnel.
Yeah. I don't know what I'd put as number two, but before I go into number two, I think a really important point is you've got to make sure that the funnel's on brand. I see loads of funnels and I click loads of whenever I see an ad on social media, I always click it just because I'm intrigued to see what people are doing. And when I see it's a sales funnel and the sales funnel doesn't match the branding of the business that they're advertising. Yeah, I immediately think, that just looks like a shit funnel. And you can tell when they're a shit funnel. They use the same like click funnels, like stock colors. I don't know. It doesn't look right. So step one, make sure it looks professional. Like there's spacing. It's not too cramped. You're using the same fonts throughout. Good images. It's branded with the color palette of the brand. I think that's step one, just to make it sure it looks nice. But in terms of features, for whether it's lead gen and e-commerce brands, having testimonials on there is super, super important, isn't it?
Yes.
And video testimonials if you can. So yeah, if all you can do is gather the Google reviews they've got on the Facebook reviews that business has and put them on the funnel in a nice aesthetic way, that's great. But if you can get that brand to get some video testimonials of past customers or clients vouching for that business, that's going to hold a hell of a lot of weight on the funnel.
And that can be, like Harry says, in the form of a video testimonial from their clients, or if they've got really good Google reviews or even Facebook reviews, you can do a snippet or a screenshot and drop it in as an image on your funnel. It does really, really help us at what's called social proof. It's like anything. If you're going to go to a dentist to get some Invisalign or composite veneers or whatever, it's nice seeing people talk about the dentist practice on the funnel, because you cannot, when you go to a landing page or funnel, however you want to call it, you can't leave any room for doubt with the buyer. If there's an element of doubt with them and you've not covered a few things that they might be thinking, they will just remove themselves and they're on to the next thing. I always say, and I've said this for years since we've been working together, is you're always one notification away from losing them. Because if you think about it, you're on your phone, you see an ad, you click through like Harry does, and I do too. As soon as I get a text message off, it could be my girlfriend, my ex-wife, my mum, Harry, me and Harry speak 7-8 times a day. So the minute Harry rings me once or he's texts me, I come off the platform when I'm onto WhatsApp or I'm onto Messenger or I'm onto something else, and they've lost me and my mind is gone. So you're always one notification away. So you've got to make sure when they land with a purpose. You're channeling, and it is literally that. You have to channel their thought process. So introduce the opt-in, introduce the service, benefits, and we'll talk about the saying in a second, but get to the benefits, add some features about the product or the service, tell people who have worked with them in the past, testimonials, go back to benefits, okay? And then at the end, you should have closed off all the information, so they've got everything to their disposal to make a decision and to follow through. But the big thing is people need to remember, particularly not just above the fold stuff, but benefits sell and features tell. And this is a big mistake that people make, is they will cover their funnels with features of the product. It's black, it's dentistry, it's new teeth, it's implants. It's not implants, it's a new smile. Okay, so forget, like, as a perfect example, you're not selling implants, you're not selling this is just an example. We're talking dentist. If you're doing a lead gen for dentists, for example, okay, or even a hair transplant clinic, anything, it's not, you're not saying, oh, you can get an implant and the implant will take just a day to put in and it's going to be nice and white and things like that. No, they're all features. Okay, the benefit is you're going to have a stunning smile. You're going to be less insecure about how you feel. You're going to grow in confidence because you have a perfect set of pearly whites. That is that's selling, what we call selling the dream. Okay, and the features are just backing up the how. So how are we going to give you a good smile? Because we have this, and this. But it's the smile, that's the benefit. That's just one example. It can be anything. It'd be like a massage. Say you're doing a landing page for a spa and you're promoting a buy one, get one free massage. It's not, oh, we have, it's a 50-minute massage. We're going to use this many oils. We are going to, the person doing it will be a lady called Andrea, and she's been working for 40 years. That's the feature of the product. And it needs to be on there because it still will be thought about. But just remember, guys, like a massage is blissful. It takes you to a new place, an outer body experience. You will feel like a different woman or man coming out of that experience. Relaxed, your muscles will be relaxed. You'll be able to think better. You'll have a clearer mind. These are the benefits of the product. And that's what sells. That is what absolutely makes people commit to giving their information or a sale and not.
Yeah, that'll be one of the biggest reasons why you're getting loads of traffic to your site, because your ads are great, but you're not just selling the product enough. But I think another big thing that people miss out is they forget to tell the leads, or this is more for lead gen, what the process is. So what happens after you submit their information? Why are they submitting their information? So are you submitting your information to get given a quote? Are you submitting your information to get a callback? Like, what's the process and what happens after that lead submits their information is so important to tell them really clearly at the top of the funnel. Right, you're going to get a phone call from a staff member, our receptionist, in the next 2 days to get you booked in. Once you're booked in, you're going to come in for a very brief consultation to build your quote, to give you a price. Then this is going to happen. Like, you have to tell them that process.
Yeah, you do. That's really important. That is really important also.
Otherwise, you'll be getting, it's all right bringing in loads of leads, but then when they get that phone call asking them to book in and leave a deposit over the phone, they're not going to convert. So you may as well have not brought any leads in anyway. So it's super important that they understand what they're signing up for.
Yeah. I completely agree. And it also, if you're on a landing page, if you're producing a funnel and you have different locations, make sure you've got the locations on there. It sounds silly, but like even the address, because people will be thinking, well, where roughly in London is that? London's a big place, you know, and actually logistically, people like to know, and this is just an example, but you know, people like to know whereabouts in London it is because they will be mapping out how logistically easy that is to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
Same for if you're running ads for New York, you know, we do, or anywhere in the world, could be Sydney. Just tell them where the locations are and what they can expect. Is there parking? Okay. It's a, you know, things like that. You know, if you're driving there and it's a dentist, let's say, for example, can they park? Okay. Stuff like that, because it will make, it will, even though it's right at the beginning, and when they submit their lead, they'll get a phone call from the team, and the team can confirm these questions. That's no problem. It's just giving yourself every opportunity to get the opt-in.
Yeah, 100%. We got asked yesterday, mate, if you work with a client and they've got an existing website that's getting loads of traffic to it, do you still make them a sales funnel? Or an ecom client, they're still getting loads of sales. Do you make because sales funnels can be used for ecom products as well. So how do you figure out how do you decide, right, I am going to make a sales funnel or I'm not going to make a sales funnel?
It really depends on how I view that website. So if I'm looking at it and I can see, and I think to myself, would I convert myself? Are there any hidden issues with their current website that I would be concerned about? Because I don't want to run what we call paid traffic, you know, other people's ad spend to it, if I didn't fully think it was worthy of like converting. And I don't, you know, if it had like issues with it, I think the first thing, if I did think there were issues with the website, I'd see if they can change them and make some tweaks. If not, and depending on the ad spend amount that they're throwing at us, yeah, I probably would create a sidetrack landing page for the product as an example.
Yeah.
But again, those listings, I wouldn't know until I've tested it. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to, please understand, in SMMA digital marketing, you have to test these other things. We do not know all the answers. And so many huge marketing agencies, you know, who have got actual members of staff, none of them do this. They all just run one poxy little ad and hope for the best. And you've got, you know, just going back very quickly, you have to test like you do with ads, and you're testing ad sets, audiences, copy, creative, which is kind of the order. Then you also have to test once you've got the traffic, where that traffic's going, and test it. Do your own funnel versus website. Run it for you need to run it for probably 14 days, well, maybe 7 to 14 days, and figure out what's got you the best result. But you have to test it. Like me and you don't know, do we? We're not the fucking SMMA messiahs.
No, and even if you have all of those features we've just mentioned, even if you make a funnel, you've got the testimonials on there, frequently asked questions, selling all of the benefits, no features, the opt-ins above the fold, you still might run traffic to it and get no sales or no leads through. This literally happened to us about a month and a half ago with one of our clients that we took on, and we had to completely scratch it and go again and come at it with a new angle. Like sometimes, for example, not that example, we worked with a dental client and did an Invisalign funnel, push loads of traffic to it. We're getting leads for about £15. It was great. Client was closing them. However, we knew we could get it better. So we made a new funnel, and the kind of the sales angle of that funnel we were going for was to make it super affordable. So we changed all of the copy to lead to one big benefit, that this new Invisalign campaign was to make Invisalign affordable for everyone. So all of the sales copy was angled towards it being affordable, you know, 100% interest-free finance, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that brought the cost per lead from £15 down to £3, using the exact same features, but just changing the angle and being clever with how we're pushing it. So you could use all those features, but like you said, you have to test everything. Send traffic to the website, see what it is, and let Facebook, let the advertising platforms tell you what your best method is.
Yeah. And that is a key thing to a good performing, it's linked, but to a good performing funnel, you know, if it's performing well based on how much traffic. The more traffic you send to it, the more better result you'll get. But in terms of fundamental basics of a funnel, I think we've covered it. But you're right. If you do have to test these things, you know.
Yeah.
We've developed funnels, by the way. Those listening, we've developed funnels which we think are absolutely covered every aspect. And then we've seen traffic go to it, but it's not convert. And like Harry said, we make a few tweaks to the funnel, the way it's laid out maybe, and put a few benefits a bit higher up the funnel, up below the fold. So, and then it's converted.
Even little things like changing the button, so you fill out the information, then you click a button to submit your information, changing the words on the button from submit info to claim offer.
And even the color of it sometimes. If you've got a big red button, red is always seen as a danger with anything. So maybe think about it. What people respond to on a button is kind of a very light teal type green or a very light blue. And it sounds stupid, but it's softer. It's more, it's kind of more trustworthy. If you're going with a big fuck off orange or red button, it's like, oh man, what's going to happen? My phone's going to explode after this. But yeah, that's it. I think that's the basics of a funnel. And I think, there's obviously loads of content online about this sort of stuff, but we live and breathe it. We know what a good funnel looks like. The other thing we haven't mentioned is make sure you do have good images on there. So we haven't said that. So on your funnel, there needs to be really good images of either the practice or the people or the service. Like, has to be HD. Don't do any fucking moddy, shoddy pictures. It will just make your funnel look shit. And also, if there are before and afters, like testimonials are great, you need testimonials, but you do need before and afters of the service if the service warrants before and after. Okay. So say you're working with a kitchen fitter and you're sending them to a landing page. What did the shoddy kitchen look like? What did the amazing after kitchen look like? That's the journey. People need to see it, and it's impactful. So people look at it and go, fuck yeah, I want a bit of that. That looks great. Or her smile, God, yeah, she had shit teeth. Now she's a 10 out of 10. So you do have to make sure your images are on there also. But that's it. Really.
And you won't be able to do this for the before and afters, but if you don't have those images and you want some really nice HD images of, I don't know, someone holding up a Invisalign bracket, or I don't know, a kitchen cabinet, just go on shutterstock.com. You get you can pay like 30 quid, £30, $50 or whatever, and you get like 10, 15 images. But
there's always stocked images on there. And if you've got a Canva account too, you can get them from Canva. There's some good images from Canva.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was perfect, mate. I think we've done some good,
cool,
perfect bullet points there of what makes a good funnel.